Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about a children's trading card game. Today we are going to be concluding this series of the deck limited battle deck building sessions where I'm just going to go through the list, give my opinions, build it alongside you obviously, give my opinions on it and kind of assess how likely it is that you will actually win a deck limited battle with this deck. So let's get started with our final one here, which we're going to be talking about Kaido. But if you have been enjoying this series, or if you haven't seen any of the other ones, check them out, they should be up there. But if they're not, you can find them in the One Piece TCG playlist on my channel. And if you haven't been enjoying them, please do like the video, because that support is much appreciated, and subscribe. So that would be sick. Let's get started. Okay. So we're starting off with the promos, right? Purple gets one promo option here. Kaido, 7-drop, 8k, no counter. That does kind of hurt, but let's look at what it is, okay? Don -2, this character gains Banish. Interesting. Realistically, the only deck that's going to be able to out this card with ease is blue. Because it's 7-drop, they can Sables it, or they can Doflamingo it, right? And then it goes back to your hand, and you wasted a turn. And that is going to hurt. That's really going to hurt. So this is possibly less good against blue. But against other decks, Banish is an exceptionally powerful keyword, okay? Denying your opponent that card, especially in a format like this where there is like no advantage at all. There's no card advantage. Like, you get your one card per turn and that's it. And if you just keep dealing with that one card per turn, like, that one card per turn doesn't really do much, right? Like, it's unlikely to, like, be swinging the game. You've got to be kind of trading with roughly similar levels of card advantage. So if you're just denying your opponent their life, and you can do this every single turn, by the way. Like, the second this is established on the board, every single turn, you can just Don -2, because you're going to get it back on the next turn anyway, and you can just go 8k Banish, 8k Banish, 8k Banish, 8k Banish. And 8k is a hell of an annoying number. If anything, what I would do is I would put at least one Don on this, because then it's 9k. 9k means the 4ks are not doing shit. You need two cards. You need a 4k and a 1k. Oh, God, that's punishing. The next bound that's really going to matter is if you put 3 Dons onto this, because then it's 11k, so then it's a 9k and a 2, and at least like a 2k plus even more. Sorry, a 4k, a 2k, and then even more. God, that's going to be horrible, right? Like, you know. So you're playing. You got to make sure you're always mentally calculating those bounds. Though there are not that many 2k counters in this format, so you potentially that's going to be even more unguardable. Anyway, with that being said, yeah, I think this card is good. I don't know how many copies we're going to be playing at the moment, so I'm going to put 2 in for now, and we will proceed on to the list. So let's look at Kaido. So this is once per turn, Don -7, you just trash the top card of your opponent's life. This is a very powerful effect. Again, it's denying your opponent that card advantage, and it's just getting a free hit in. And this can turn and this can truly convert like a turn that did not look like you were going to win into a kill turn. This is a very, very powerful effect. Don't, like, look for ways to just spam it. Like, use it when you think, like, okay, I genuinely think, like, this is going to swing the game. And make sure you spend that Don first, right? You can slam down 7-drop Kaido and then do the Don -7 with the Don you just paid. That's A-okay. You're going to be getting value out of that, and it's fine. Just understand that, like, you want to be choosing when you do that very carefully, because if your opponent just, removes what you just played, or, like, does something where you're not going to be able to play it again immediately. So just be aware. But this definitely is really good. Let's go through and do the staples as we always do. So 4 copies of ulti. This is a 2k counter, so we want to be playing this. Queen, this is absolutely insanely strong. You want to be playing 4 copies of Queen. 6k blocker, Don -1 to draw 2 pitch ones, just filter for good cards. Super, super nice. We want 4 of each of the good vanillas of 3 and 5 drop. 4 copies of Onigashima. That just has to go in there. You cannot play this deck without 4 copies of Onigashima. And to be honest, you just want to be mulling 5 for Onigashima. When you get Onigashima, this deck is so scary. Like, it's actually, like, powerful. But, it's bricky, because if you don't, not ideal. But, there are ways to kind of increase the odds. So let's continue. We'll go back up here, okay, and let's consider some of these cards. Okay, so we got Sasaki. This is a 3-drop 4k, Don -1 to draw a card. So it does replace itself. Obviously, it being a 3-drop 4k does kind of suck, but when you consider the options this deck has, this is kind of better. This is not too bad, and it could be worse. It could be worse. It's not ideal, but you're gonna have to play this card. Jack, this is a 3-drop 4k, also has a 1k counter. On play, you can discard to gain a Don inactive. Again, you probably don't want to be using this like more than once, right? Because that card advantage really does matter. So if you get this like turn 2 on curve, sure, go for it. Like, you know, get your ramp. But obviously on curve, you're probably going to be playing Onigashima. So, you know, it is a bit rough. If you play Jack and then the next turn you'll have 6 Dons, you play Onigashima, then okay, that's cool. You can do it in that order as well. But just, you know, don't play this later on. Like it's not going to be worth it. You need the cards. Playing 4 copies of that. We need 4 copies of our Chump Blocker, which for some reason is a 2-drop in this deck, but it is what it is. Black Maria. So then let's talk about Who's Who. This is a 3-drop 3k on play, Don -1, KO up to one of your opponents, cost 3 or lower characters, and trigger, you may play this card. As you can see, this does not have any restrictions like Killer did. This is just straight up like pop something, and this is always going to be useful, right? Against red, hits the blockers, hits their cheap attackers, hits Zoro, fantastic. Against green, it's hitting their blockers, it's hitting their bonnies, it's hitting, you know, the 3-drop, the promo kid, wonderful. Against Croc, hits Santomaru, hits the law blocker, good enough. And against purple, it's, I mean, I guess it's at worst against purple, but you know, you do hit the blockers and stuff. So yeah, I think this is really nice. The biggest problem is it doesn't have counter, but you do have ways to discard cards in Queen to just like filter. So yeah, 4 copies. We are at 38 cards, and you can see we are starting to struggle to fill this deck space, but we still haven't spoken about this top end here, and these are both exceptionally powerful cards. So, King, on play, Don -1, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. This is a staple this is your power card for this format. This is removing so much relevant stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. We've got Kaido here as well. 9-drop 10k, on play, Don -5. Return, so Don -5, you may KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. That's functionally like anything you could be concerned about. And this character gains Rush. This is so strong. This sees play in the main set. This is at least a 3 of. I'm going to bump up the 7-drop Kaido to 3 as well, so you've got a really nice top end here. And then we go down and we consider, you know, what events are we going to play? Well, I mean, Blast Breath is amazing. 1-drop, Don 1. Your leader gains 4k, Don -1, sorry. This is insane. Absolute 4-drop. Is there anything amongst these events that we'd want to be playing? All-Star Calamities. Draw 1, then get a Don. This is horrible. You never want to be doing this. Brachio Bomber, 6 cost. KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less, then add 1 Don card from your Don deck to your cost activate. Okay. Right, so I get what they're going for here, right? Like a nuke to 6 cost, but you're not developing a board. And why would I play this, right? Like, if I'm ever considering, like, slamming down the 6 cost, like, there's, what, like, 2 turns I'm considering doing this during the game, where I have this card, where I'm not just instantly going to slam down, like, this guy instead, and just, like, you know, nuke whatever I need to, and then go face. And I would always rather do this. You know, like, okay, yeah, it's going to Don minus me a hefty amount, but I'm developing a body, I'm clearing something, I'm getting an attack in. It's so much more value. I just can't really justify playing Brachio Bomber. If you wanted to play Brachio Bomber at maybe a couple copies, I can definitely see a justification for like knocking down, I don't know, Who's Who a little bit, or Sasaki, or Jack, or something. But remember, you're negatively impacting your guarding ability when you do that. Overall, then I think this is going to be my list. This is what I'm going to go with. I really do think that this is quite good, but I also think it's probably the worst of the list. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So, like red, I think purple is in the same boat of if it sees what it needs to see, oh man, it's really scary. But if it doesn't see what it needs to see, right? Like if you're not getting that ramp early, if you don't see the Onigashima, if you don't see your top end, it's only 10 cards, right? Like yeah, okay, it's you know 20% of the deck, but it's only 10 cards. It is entirely possible in a you know a format like this, you're just not going to see it, right? Like typically you do need your cards like Queen to actually dig. And again, if you do not see Onigashima, you are not getting the ramp necessary to like play these cards when they're incredibly threatening, you know? And also, like, your early game, it does nothing. Like, what are you doing early on, right? Like, okay, well, I can draw a card. Who's Who? Cool, remove something. But, like, besides that, what are you doing? A little bit of ramp, like, just playing some bodies. Like, okay, every deck is playing these bodies, you know? So, I think this is the issue with the deck. Like, you need to ramp so your big guys, like, start hitting the board, and you are very scary. Because if you don't do that, you're just going to get killed. Because you lose board, and your opponent doesn't care. Like, they're like, okay, cool, what are you going to play? Another Who's Who? Whatever, face. So, that's my opinion. I think this is probably the worst deck to take, though I think it could win. And I think that's a nice thing, right? Like, I think there are definitely, like, way worse picks Sorry, not way, but like I think there are definitely worse picks and better picks, but I don't think the disparity is crazy between these decks. I definitely think green and blue are a tier above red and purple. Like 100%, I think there's like a very clear difference in how good the decks are. But I could see purple or red, like on a good day, absolutely taking an entire deck limited battle. So at the end of the day, make sure you do your testing, make sure you figure out what you actually like, what you want to play, and play it. And it'll be fine. Probably. You may lose, but, you know, just get good. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please do like the video. If you've enjoyed this whole series, please do subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comment section down below. I'd really appreciate it. Please keep an eye out for some match videos that should hopefully be coming in the next week or so, as at the time of you seeing this. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.